Hi, I'm Bill Butler. It's June 5th, 2016. Much later in the year than I'd like to get started on a tree like this. I would have liked to get to it in January, to be honest. Things happen. When I carved it some years back, you may recall that I had a big heavy root here. It was just unattractive for the front of the tree. I carved all this down into here, up here, down into here. You will see that when the soil was a little higher, I didn't notice this, and the soil has retracted somewhat. It has tried to regain some of this. It's growing over into this. This is very punky wood in here, and I need to do something about that. Today, I'm going to get in here and just carve down right into that area there and separate this. I've got some live tissue over here, and I've got plenty of live tissue over here. This is going up to feed the heaviest parts of the tree. This is where we go all the way up into the top, and then over here it's a little weaker. What I don't want to happen is I don't want to lose too much in this part of the tree. This is where I've got that funky top. I tried to get a top to grow here. It was just never going to happen. I had a good branch there, storms, squirrels, so I said, well, this guy was the strongest top part of this side of the tree. Let's see what can happen there. Let's go around to the back of the tree. This is the bare spot in the back of the tree. Wow, it's just all gone there. So there is a little bit of growth up here at the top. Here, that's starting to come down just a little bit, but that's really not going to do much. Over here is where we've got some live tissue still. I would like to see this fatten up a little more. I don't know how much of that's going to happen. I've got this branch here to help fatten it up. I got two suckers on the back, one here, one here. Both of these can lend themselves to aiding the cause. What I do not want to happen here is I don't want to have a big fat scar. This will grow out and form a huge branch with a fat scar. I need to just keep my eye on that and make sure that nothing happens there. And this was the front of the tree right in here. And as always, I wanted this to disappear around the bend. I didn't want a split right up the front of the tree here. I didn't want that to just be the front of the tree. I wanted that to be the front of the tree. I'm hoping that's to the viewer now. A little bit of a disappear around the back there. This is going to be the upper flat top. This is going to be the lower flat top. What we're doing is this branch comes over, and then periodically we'll send branches in that general direction. This one's coming towards the viewer. This one's going a little bit back. This one's towards the back. That's almost a bar branch there, but he's going forward, he's going back. I'm gonna let that one slide. Pull that down, wire it into place. And speaking of wire, oh mercy. Yes, very nice, very nice, beautiful red color. Once I've gotten this hot, this is all very nice and soft copper. It's great to work with. Once you've moved it around just a little bit, it'll really lock in tight and hold the shape that you want. What we want to get here is I want this to come down, and I want it to twist just a little bit there. Come down and twist. This will come up. It'll go out in that direction. As I've said, I want to see happen off of here, but this will come off in this direction here. They stagger. They don't just come out and go back and forth, one long guy, boom, 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 and then when you turn on the side, it's two-dimensional. what you want is you want it to spread out in many directions. Okay, so I want to bring it in this way, so I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to come up, come around, come around, come around. Anybody wants to complain about my wiring technique, feel free to do so in the comments. So now I want to bend it down. And give it a little bit of a twist. Okay, I hope that's brought that down a little bit, somewhat noticeable. I don't want to take too much out, but I can't have these long, lanky things going for too long. You can work on these bald cypress late into the year. They will continue to bud back. Now, what I'm not doing is I'm not growing a formal upright. I'm creating a flat top bald cypress. This bald cypress grows up, it can't grow anymore, it starts sending out shoots, and it says, you know, I want to make this nice big pad up here. I don't like flat tops that have a rounded dome. I like them to look like they've been trying and trying, and then just they come up just a little bit, just a little, but then kind of sag out right at the tips. Let's see if I can sort out what's going on here. I say keep him. No, no. I'm gonna get rid of him. Wire, 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 wire. Let's wire the daylights out of this son of a gun. This is gonna take me a couple hours. When you're looking down the branch and it's just going this way, okay? That's flat movement. What you want to do is you want to create a little movement. Are you bobbing up and down as you're turning left and right? Go ahead and just corkscrew the branch just a little bit, flatten it out in some places, change its movement up and down a little bit, but don't just create a boring zigzag like I've mentioned before. All right, so what I just did was the lack of a branch at this position on this side of the branch troubled me, so I just torqued the whole branch around until I got that little guy over there. This little guy used to be on this side, now on the other side. Spring trick is something that was taught to me by Guy Guidry and Vaughn Banting here in New Orleans, and it works great when dealing with these huge trees when you're trying to change the direction of a branch coming right off the trunk. Use some copper, just use it as a spring like this. Make sure it's annealed copper, and you go ahead and work it a little bit to get it to really push against that trunk. This is a Bionic shield, Uvex Bionic shield, anti-fog, works great. So I'm going to be using my ArborTech tool to bring this down and get it in line with this apex. Many of you have gotten hold of these Chicago Electric Power Tools die grinders. You get these from Harbor Freight. One of the problems that you have with this is that you've got an on-off switch here. If you're using a tool like this and it catches your hand and you've let go of it, it's still on. Let go of this, it's still gonna hurt you. And it's gonna be bouncing around on the ground while you're bleeding and trying to figure out, you know, how to get away from this thing. I have a Master Carver foot pedal. This is not an on-off. This is a variable speed foot pedal, and they do have very nice die grinders, in excess of $2.25, $250 there, and they have the paddle grip. I'd love to have a paddle grip die grinder. You let go of it, and that's it. Next best thing, it's on, it's off, and I can control that with the foot. So if I get into trouble, I just take my foot off the pedal. Next up on my tool parade is a Master Carver heavy duty ProFlex shaft, half horsepower, 30,000 RPM max, reversible. Put little burr bits on it. You can put router bits on it. You can put wire brushes on it. Flat wheels. Takes these nice 1/4 inch bits. They have an attachment for the 1/8 inch bits. Reciprocating chisel. What do I have it hanging from? It's an IV stand. I went to a medical supply rental business. They rent these out. I asked them for a rental that was at the end of its life. So long as the locking collar can still hold this up, I didn't care if it was rusted and pitted. I have since then hung things from this to spray paint them. It's a useful thing to have. Just hope I never actually need one for what its intended purpose is anytime soon. Used to be a much larger bit. If you want to know why I'm wearing these face shields, the entire time that I'm doing this, I had these little bits of wire just flaking right off and hitting me in the helmet. I mentioned before that I want to get this cut out. I want to cut this down a little bit. This is where I had the original front of the tree when I dug it out the swamp. I guess that does it for the carving portion. I have taken this down considerably. Good heavens. Yeah. So, still going to have that as the front of the tree. We still have it going around the corner, but it's much further up on this side than it used to be. The tree has a completely different balance than when we started. But we got to chase the tree to where it wants to go. And if I'm going to chase this tree all the way down to the ground, I'll do it. Let's get this top wired and call it a night. Out on the far reaches, here and here, this is where things are actually just going to be turned up so that I can get a lot of energy pumping up and down this part here to fatten this up. I've given you some ideas on padding here, some padding, and I'm rotating this around to give the tree depth. This is the back of the tree. This is where I've got a branch that is coming up and creating two different levels of pads. Pad here and then slightly higher here to give this illusion in the background where I've got this step here and this step here. And so I want these to pad out and then turn up to the sun just as they're coming out to the end of some of these, and then turn down just as they're coming out to the end of these little under branches. Now this one is directly underneath this, but directly over that. I don't care about this last little bit here because this is going to come down into here. This is clip, 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 and chase it back a little further after it's developed, after I've continued this energy development. I've got this area set up to create energy flows. Over here, energy is flowing fantastic on this side of the tree. It's weak on this side of the tree. I need to get the energy flow much better over here. This here, the last thing that I'm going to be doing, right when I say I'm done, I'm going to take these ends, I'm going to bend him up, and I'm going to bend him up, and we're going to create just a pair of apexes that hopefully will get, just get all the light that they need and then pull energy down. So I hope you like it. I hope that it's finally coming into view. I think that it is. I think I've done a great deal of wiring tonight compared to what I thought I was going to have to do. I thought I was just going to do some light stuff, and then I just figured, well, what the hell, I got to get this taken care of. I'm sorry the video's so late this year. That's how things roll in my household sometimes. Sometimes I just got to do things later than I like. However, I do believe that with just continuing to water and fertilize weekly, this will be a fantastic growing tree for the rest of the summer. I probably won't be defoliating this in August. Depends on what it tells me it wants to do. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. I hope to see some of you in the New Orleans area at some time. Just look me up. I'm happy to speak with you about anything pertaining to bald cypress or bonsai. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.